Welcome to the Bold Analysis. Happy New Year from me, my family, the Bold family and the Bold Network. I hope we've had a successful year 2023. We are praying and hoping for the best in 2024, for your dreams, for all those things you had planned. We pray that they all come to fruition as we cross to next year. Rigathi has fallen in Maina Njenga trap. And ladies and gentlemen, where is Maina Njenga? Where is Maina Njenga? I'm looking at, in this podcast, I want us to have a deep dive into the behind the scene intrigues why the state planned to scuttle the Maina Njenga meeting that was organized for Nyeri is actually an ill-advised strategy. It's actually ill-advised. But before that, I want to say thank you very much that the progress of our granny's house, our grandmother house, Hilda Akumu, that we were building, in the first phase of the fundraiser, I was ensuring that we get the mabati and all that. So yesterday, I did not do any video. Yeah, sometimes these fundraisers come with those inconsistencies. Like I had to spend the whole day the other side of Yoma. So we managed to purchase the mabati. We've also managed to purchase roofing woods, the walling, the roofs, the walling wood, and what else? Yes. So we've managed roof, walls, and also hizo zingine za roofing and the nails. Now, so we are going to build. Now, the next phase of what I want to ask you of another phase of 100 Bob challenge is for us to get windows and door, windows, steel door, and pesa ya fundi. So windows, steel door, pesa ya fundi, and I also need to mention of mchanga yenye inatumika kuweka its boat. It's around 28,000 2 trucks. So I have a deficit of around, let's look at 70,000. I'll be able to finish that house on Tuesday, tukianza kubuild tukimaliza. I want us to finish that, then we will look at the probability on how we can cement it, how we can plaster it later. But on that, I think on a deficit of 70,000, I'll be able to bring it tight. So kindly, let's push. Nipate windows. If you can get even windows, if you're around this place and you can give me windows, ni sawa. If you're also working maybe in some welder and you can have lango, it's fine. Mchanga, na buy mchanga. The people from Bondo who are members of this channel, kama wewe uko na mchanga mahali and you know where it's normally bought, one truck goes at 14,000. I need 2 of that is 28,000. Then I'll have to pay my fundi and the guys that will be doing a little bit of the handiwork. So kindly, I believe that between now and Tuesday, if we'll be able to get approximately 70,000, our grandmother's house will be up standing on Tuesday, 2nd, and Wednesday, so that I go back to Nairobi. But I want to make sure that this is done. Now, back to what I was saying. Maina Njenga had organized a meeting in Nyeri. Now, the Nyeri meeting was organized to be on, the Nyeri meeting was supposed to be today, the 31st of December. And during Jamhuri Day, there was a speech that was done by the Nyeri County Commissioner, which banned that meeting. And that meeting was politically significant. And you could see the county commissioner was like, this is going to be a Mungeke thing now. Immediately, Maina Njenga started pulling crowds. The Rigathi axis started shrinking. And they were like, you know, they started bringing what I normally say, petty, cheap, backward political propaganda. They were cheap, backward, and very petty. That because Maina Njenga was attracting those youths, that all those youths that were around Maina Njenga were actually Mungeke. And that is, and that caused a lot of trouble. I want to tell you one thing. The narrative of Mungeke was leveled against Maina Njenga to create the grounds of making sure that that meeting doesn't happen. Now, look at something. No one has an evidence of any Mungiki anywhere that has done anything in Mount Kenya. No one has an evidence. No one has come out and complained that mimi nimenyang'anywa na watu wa Mungiki. But here is the government machinery coming out to scuttle that meeting. Last night, there were heavy contingent of security details in the same place, in the place where Maina Njenga was supposed to hold that meeting. And even up to now, it is not yet known where Maina Njenga is. So there have been a bit of push and pull between a section of the youths and the people in Mount Kenya about that, while the young people have been insisting that that meeting will go on whether Rigathi wants or not. So he has actually, it's something that I looked at it, and I think I analyzed it even in my previous video, saying that Ruto had taken some silence on it. But it is wrong to scuttle a meeting on some flimsy grounds. You know, there are people, there are leaders that have been holding meetings in Mount Kenya. You've seen them going to churches, going to holding meetings. But no single leader in Mount Kenya has attracted a crowd bigger than that of Maina Njenga. No single leader. And I believe that, yes, Rigathi Gachagua is supposed to be in Nakuru, I think today. If you think that the young people around Maina Njenga are the people that are, you know, Mungiki, himself, on the day before Christmas, he also held a meeting with a group of young people. So what's the difference? And you know, he's created a cluster war. And I'm telling you, Rigathi is falling into that trap. And I want to explain a bit. You know, do you think Maina Njenga was stupid to organize that meeting in Nyeri? Let's argue. Let's think around that line. Do you think he was stupid to organize that meeting in Nyeri? He was not stupid. And he knew very well that these forces were going to emerge. I think Rigathi did not, the team did not read between the lines, because they just needed to ask themselves a very simple question now. Why is it that Rigathi has chosen Nyeri? He has chosen Nyeri because he knows very well that Nyeri is Rigathi's home. So there was going to be that political activism around it. In fact, the objective will be achieved even if that meeting happens or not. The objective of creating, you know, creating that as an agenda is already going to be achieved. Whether that meeting, someone believes that if I stop that meeting by, you know, like yesterday they had already erected roadblocks around that stadium where it was supposed to be done, and there were all rumors that, you know what, has been stopped and they cannot be allowed to do it. Now, it is not about holding the meeting. It is just something on creating the agenda. And clearly, Rigathi Gachagua is already creating some class war between him and the section of Mount Kenya youth. Unatuita Mungiki na sisi ndio tulikupigia kura. That question is coming. And I normally say, do Maina Njenga have anything to lose? No. He has nothing to lose. He must not even vie for presidency. It's not a must. He must not vie for presidency. He has nothing to lose. So this is a battle that I believe is one that we've been looking at. And I think it's because those around it trying to manage Mount Kenya politics are not getting it right. And the bold Maina Njenga has decided he's taking it in the doorstep of William Ruto. In the doorstep of Rigathi Gachagua. He comes from Laikipia. There's Murang'a. There is Meru. There is, there are many other places. Why did he choose it? Why did he choose it? That is the question. So I do honestly believe that Rigathi is causing a class war. And is already causing a clash between the public and the police. You know, the thing is, how about if the people start demonstrating? Yes, and they can demonstrate. He's already, and he's falling into that trap because number one, he's creating an enmity between him and the young people in Mount Kenya, in the guise of fighting Maina Njenga. That's number one. Number two, he's already creating some enmity between the security forces and the people, the residents in that area. Today is 31st. People also want a place they can relax. You know, people are going to, and who says, and I've seen a very petty discussion about, those people who attend that meeting are all men. No. I've seen women in those meetings. I've seen young women. I see old women in those meetings. So when they say about, you know what, that those who attend those meetings are people, I'm like, what exactly is this? Now, there is a war, or rather there is, there is a battle being created. There is a contest that clearly Rigathi Gachagua is creating between him and Maina Njenga. If Rigathi believes he's the kingpin, and he also believes, number two, that the Kenya Kwanza believes on nurturing leaders, then the likes of Maina Njenga should not be lynched and profiled in public through those flimsy Mungiki charges. But they should just be left to thrive just the same way other leaders are thriving. Because purely, there is no evidence about Mungiki. There's nothing like Mungiki. There's nothing like that. But it's targeting one man using one weapon. Using that weapon called Mungiki. And there is the danger of that war. I want to look at the danger of the Rigathi Maina Njenga contest. It is going to destroy Rigathi before he knows. I want to explain that. Kindly subscribe to our channel, and I'm still reminding you, and of course now that this analysis was mentioning Maina Njenga, he contributed, by the way. He sent his contribution to me on this project of building our grandmother's house starting on Tuesday. Contributed. I'm so happy. I think for the first time I'm seeing elected leaders. I'm seeing high profile leaders coming in. Yeah, and it's a challenge to those leaders around this place. That house we are building in Bondo, and I want to see Bondo leaders also coming in. Your MP, your MCA, I also want to see them coming in. I'm so grateful for that. And back to what I was saying. We are just remaining with some three aspects. Buying windows. One window goes around 6,000. So just buying windows. 3 windows. And one door and a door. I think there are going to be 2. Steel door out, Nazandani, Mbili. So those are some other 3. Alafu fundi na buying some changa for building. Changa also goes around 28,000. So that's why I'm putting an approximation of around 70,000 to be able to finish phase 1 of that project. Send me what you have. Contribute then in kind. If you have a window, mali nipe, even if it is old, and nitaenda nipake rangi na nitumie niweke, and be so glad. So let's continue supporting this. Now, the more Rigathi crafts a contest with Maina Njenga, the more the young people drifts away from him to Maina Njenga. There is a question that Rigathi handlers must ask. Who is Maina Njenga a lone ranger? No. Do Maina Njenga have a following? Yes. Then you need to ask yourself, who are these people? You need to ask yourself that question. Who are these people? These people are young, energetic young people in Mount Kenya and across the country. So, is there a guarantee that if you fight Maina, if you neutralize Maina Njenga, you are going to scoop those young people? The answer is no, because you don't have a solution. Do Rigathi Gachagua have any job for those young people? Government doesn't have kazi mtaani. What do you have for those young people? They don't have any option. In fact, you need to ask yourself, why are they around Maina Njenga? Why? They're around Maina Njenga because they're looking for hope. They're looking for someone that can tetea for them. And every Kenyan now is looking for, who can help me fight my battle? That's the young question. So, I want to tell Rigathi handlers, as much as you can neutralize Maina, but the danger is on your side, because Kenyans sympathize with the downtrodden. Kenyans cling with the oppressed. And you know, politicians don't just learn. Themselves, they ran that smear campaign against Uhuru Kenyatta, that Uhuru Kenyatta oppressed them. And they went and projected themselves to people as people who were betrayed by the former president Uhuru Kenyatta. Now, what happened? Themselves now, they're coming now to go after Maina. And you know, I understand he's not yet coming out. It's not, by the time I was shooting this video, it's not yet in public. Looking after Maina. But with something. Maina Njenga is not in the picture. Who is behind him? These young people, there is something that will come that Maina is one of our own, but he is being sought after. Try to imagine he goes missing for some few days. What will happen? So he is, and you know, and you know, people don't just see the bigger picture. There is a big question like what's happening in Meru about sniper. You know, the breaching of human rights is something that has to be seen. So that's one reason why the contrast Rigathi is creating between him and Maina Njenga is not going to be very good on his end. Number two, you know, he is growing the political profile of Maina Njenga. Because people, you know, even the Kenyan media will start asking, who is this Maina Njenga? What does he have? What is he up to? Even the Kenyans, even the publics will start asking, so what about it? You know? What about it? He's already creating it. And you're building the political profile because so far he becomes a person of interest. You know, you want to bring in something that you are the kingpin. Yes, you're the kingpin. Now here you have Maina Njenga, who partially interested in being kingpin, partially not interested. But this is the man who is supposed to hold a meeting somewhere, and people see heavy police presence. The photos and the videos are circulated online. And you know, the orders came from above. And this is a Christmas time where people are in the village. So you've already captured like the whole village over something. Then people will start asking, what exactly is Maina Njenga? And that is why I see it is not going to help the situation. In fact, that thing is even building Maina Njenga. That's number two. Number three, the contest of Maina Rigathi is not a contest of those individuals. It is a contest between Kenya Kwanza and another alternative which is not Azimio. I want you to look at it this way. Is Maina Njenga going there with Raila Odinga? No. Is he going there with Uhuru Kenyatta? He tried bringing in the Uhuru Kenyatta. It was not sinking. Uhuru Kenyatta has distanced himself. But of course, Uhuru Kenyatta, I believe, was to create the hype, which worked for the event. But there is something that he brings in as he goes in as Maina Njenga. He doesn't go in with putting on Raila, putting on Azimio. No. He goes in as Maina. In clear terms, this contest is actually building the third leg. The third leg. You're creating a team that will not vote for either Azimio or Kenya Kwanza. They just want to hear what Maina Njenga is. And you know, this is what can be, and that is why I'm looking at it differently. You know, if Maina Njenga consolidates this team, then he tells these young people that sisi tumeangalia Kenya Kwanza na Azimio na tuoni kama kuna watatusaidia. Sisi tunataka watu wetu. So kama and Maina goes to the ballot in 2027, then shenanigans are done, then maybe he's blocked. Then he goes and tells these people that, look here, if I am blocked, then you guys don't go and vote. Look at it. They can engineer a Mount Kenya revolt against both Azimio and Kenya Kwanza. Who loses in that? William Ruto is the loser. You see, that is why I'm like, politicians need to look at it, the bigger picture. If he consolidates the third leg, not inclined through towards Azimio, nor Kenya Kwanza, then he runs his own political agenda. At the right time, he says, if we cannot be allowed even to vie, then we are not voting. You'll find that Rigathi Gachagua off guard. You'll find Rigathi Gachagua off guard. Number 4, and I'm telling this to the Rigathi camp with a lot of conviction. William Samoei Ruto is not interested in who is the kingpin. William Samoei Arap Ruto, the president, is interested on how he can be re-elected. And if it comes at a cost of accommodating Maina and Njenga, many people might be shocked. This is what I mean. And I tie it to the third point I've said. There can be spirited effort to neutralize Maina and Njenga, and we have seen the president, despite the president being the head of Security Council, this Mungiki thing has been brought in as has been packaged as a security threat. The head of Security Council, President William Ruto, has kept quiet over the whole thing. In the event that he realizes that I will need Maina and Njenga to get Mount Kenya vote, he will go for Maina and Njenga. I want to tell you, even if it will mean begging, even if it will mean kukosana na Rigathi and any other person to bring Maina and Njenga, he will go for Maina and Njenga. So this you must tread careful. There is no permanent enemies in this country. There are no permanent enemies. Kenyans and politicians must remember that Uhuru and Raila are now one thing. Politicians must remember that Ruto and Musalia are now one thing, while Musalia was the biggest creating of the bottom-up thing. I remember kibeba chupa kisema sasa chupa ikai hivi bottom inakaa juu. Remember that thing. So, this is a very dangerous contest. If Rigathi loses his contest with Maina and Njenga, Ruto will go after Maina and Njenga. He will look for Maina and Njenga, directly or indirectly. And if he looks for Maina and Njenga, Rigathi will be dashed off. It comes at every cost. And so, politically, I don't sympathize with Mount Kenya. I will keep on saying and I will keep on repeating. The best way to reap big is to be the threat. You know, Ruto's 2027 political matrix remains the same. That I need to get Kalenjin and Kikuyu, then try to get inroads in the other opposition strongholds. It is that simple. That's what Ruto is doing. Now, what do they need to do? If Mount Kenya wants to reap big, if I was Rigathi, I would entertain and support the likes of Maina and Njenga, because the more Ruto's voting constituency in Mount Kenya is threatened, is the more the region is gonna benefit. Because instead of Rigathi fighting, neutralizing Maina and Njenga, he should sit with William Ruto and tell William Ruto that, look here, you know, huyu Maina and Njenga naona anaenda na vijana, sasa tufanye nini? Turudishe kazi mtaani, vijana wetu wapate kazi. That is the discussion. In fact, it should be a positive vibe for the Rigathi. And someone says, you know, and this must be investigated. In fact, the intelligence must investigate this issue of Mungiki, because if Maina and Njenga doesn't have them, but these fellows that are saying they have them, they should summon, start with those women MPs, they should be summoned so that they explain where this Mungiki. Rigathi should be not even summoned. Yeah, neither cannot be summoned. But it should be called. The leaders that have been talking about Mungiki, they should be called to show us where the Mungiki, because if Maina and Njenga doesn't see, the media doesn't see, but leaders are seeing it, then it means one day now. Yes. They should be summoned so that they explain. Otherwise, they're putting the residents of the mountain into some very unnecessary pressure, something that probably it's not even needed. And on this one, I believe that something needs to be done carefully, because the politicians are running away with it. Thank you. Hello, Team Bold. I just want to show you what so far we have done I am in Madiany, Uyoma. Yeah, so I told you we wanted to make sure that Shosh House is done. So the first phase was making sure that we have a couple of few stuff here. So like we've managed to buy the iron sheets. These are 25 iron sheets that we've got so far. Then these are the iron sheets. Then this is the nails. So I just want to show you. Yeah, these are the nails, both for the roofing nails and the other one for building. Then these are called roofing what? The roofing wood, roofing poles. Yes, my friend is telling me they're called roofing poles. Yeah, so these are also pieces of roofing poles. Now, if you look at the other end, yes, Shosh is not here. We might not tell you, but now this is the house that we wanted to change. So on this other end, we also have some other poles that we are bringing up. It's in the process. So huku wanaleta za kuweka kwa walls. Yeah, so I'm just so happy. I'm so glad we have managed a bit of first phase, and I want to say a big thank you to my good friend Honorable Maina Njenga. Yeah, Honorable Maina Njenga also extended my support towards this. This is something that was so passionate. I really wanted to ensure that before I go back to Nairobi, this house is here. So yeah, so I'm just so glad, so happy that we are doing it. I know a bit of what is remaining, which will be for tomorrow and Tare first, is on the fundi and the wall. Lazima to buy some changa for the walls, so that is something pending. And yeah, paying fundi and the walls and the door and the windows. So on Monday, on Monday, Tare first, I should be able to buy the windows and the door, so that fundis wakianza, fundi moja atafanya hizi kazi zote, and I'll be so glad. So let's continue participating in the challenge, and I'm so happy. I said that I want us to take these blessings as we cross over to 2024. My whole team, Bold family, let's take up these blessings from Shosh as we go back to our other activities. Asanteni sana.